So many of the Christian gloom and doomers, the eschatologists, the end time people, the prophecy people, they want you to believe that the end is near. They wish, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm here to tell you that not only is the end's not near, the end is here. And the question is, who's at the end for? And what's it the beginning of? Tonight, we're talking about the end is near. Christian America is dying. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. We're doing another double dip today. We are recording the Unindoctrinate radio program, which broadcasts every morning at 0001. Comes on the very first thing of your day in the Central Time Zone in the midnight hour. Bring you into your personal power. And we're on the Christian Whistleblower YouTube channel, bringing you more podcast excellence over there. And we're talking about the end is not near. The end is here. Christian America is dying. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. All kinds of fun stuff coming up over the next few weeks and months and years. And I'm convinced it's the best time ever to be alive, folks, and here we are. I want to show you what I'm basing this on. Marsden Brooks sent me this article, and the article comes out of off the website called The Week. And interestingly enough, you can see The Week, the end of Christian America, and you probably can't see it, but the lady that wrote the article, her name is Bonnie Christian. Only it's with a K. So that's kind of interesting. So we're going to talk about, she says, the coming end of Christian America. I say the end is already here. So we will talk. And I saw a lot of people asking questions already. And let's just jump in here and see real quick. The most fearsome enemy is the internet, says Kingus. And I agree 100%. And the reason why the most fearsome enemy for the dominant religious, the dominant political, and the dominant social or cultural and social paradigms is because think about what happened when religion and politics, as we know it, took over, back in the early days of the Catholic Church. Let's just start with Rome. Rome says this is the religion. Rome says this is the government. And Rome basically started a nice little practice called convert or die. Would you like to be a Christian or would you like to be dead? Choose one. So as a result, the Christian Roman Catholic evangelists were very successful because people would rather keep breathing than die for their faith, many of them. So that was how things started. So you had the start of Roman religion, and today's Roman Catholicism and Roman Protestantism are the sons and daughters of that. And then you had Roman government, which the United States government and most of the governments of the countries you're listening in are also products of that. So we've had from that, let's just say that was 200 AD for an easy starting point. So from 200 AD until, and let's say that this really is 2019, we're talking about roughly 2,000 years. 2,000 years of dominant paradigm from Roman religion, dominant paradigm from Roman political structures, Roman government. And that's what we've had for 2,000 years. And for about 1,400 plus of those years, only those in government and in the clergy could even read or write for the most part. Think of that. What kind of control do you have over people when you're the only one that can read, you're the only one that can write? Bible ownership was not allowed. And then all of a sudden comes the 1500s and comes the printing press and comes some changes. Some say, oh, the Protestant Reformation. I'm preparing to bring forth a teaching in the coming days and weeks that will prove to you that the Protestant Reformation was a false flag. And it was actually the brainchild of the Jesuits before the Jesuits even existed. They came in together, Protestant Reformation, Jesuitism. Really, it was Jesuitism, Protestant Reformation. So stay tuned for that, folks. All kinds of amazing revelation and teaching coming your way. And then it was about the late 1500s where the printing press was invented. Now you got a problem because people can read and write, and books are being disseminated. So they lost a little bit of control there, but still literacy wasn't high, but it did explode later. So it wasn't really until the Industrial Revolution that you had people reading books, but it really wasn't until the internet exploded. When was the internet really available? Was it Y2K-ish? Because I remember when I was in Bible college, and if I wanted to study the Bible, I had to buy a bunch of these books. I can remember my living room covered with books, each of them, costing $80 to $100, $200 a piece. And if you wanted to study the Bible, you had to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to be able to learn to study the Bible in its original languages. Today, 2019, going on 2020, you're a few keystrokes away from being able to access and know anything that a PhD level seminarian knows. And if you don't know, it's only because your lack of interest, it's only because your lack of effort, it's only because of your lack of initiative. So when Kingus says the most fearsome enemy is the internet for those that are in control, they're 100% right. And their greatest ally is fear, ignorance, laziness, complacency. So nice to see you, Kingus. And what else have we got here? 2020, we're entering the end game. I do agree, but who is it the end for? And who is it the beginning for? Darth is listening to 528s. Let me know how that goes for you. Let's see, Jeff, when you were in church, did the priest do the X sign on your forehead? Well, I never was in a Catholic church. I was a Protestant minister. But I did one better, ladies and gentlemen. In the Protestant faith, if you came up to get prayed for, we usually had this oil, this olive oil, in a little bottle. And they would put the sign of the cross on your forehead when they prayed for you. I didn't play that. I was a Pentecostal evangelist, red hot, blood bought, sin killing, devil chasing, revival preaching. I was sold out the whole route, completely born again. So what I would do, I was under the spout where the glory came out. I was anointed with 3 ends, and I wouldn't bother with the olive oil. I would just use my forehead sweat. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Who needs olive oil when you can have the forehead sweat of the anointed man of God? And I would take that sweat, I would make the sign of the cross, and I would cast out demons, slay people in the spirit, heal, do all kinds of stuff, all by the sweat, boom, of my oh so anointed brow. And in 20 years, I never had anybody go, ooh, gross. Not once, ladies and gentlemen, not once. And I think that says more about them than it does about me, maybe. So the things you learn here on the Christian Whistleblower channel. David is here. Philip Blair is talking about geologic time. Okay, that's great. Is it time for the last rites? Last rites aren't going to do anything good when you've been doing wrong the whole time, ladies and gentlemen. I can vouch for the cross on the head. Did I speak in tongues? Every day of my life, I spoke in tongues. I probably got, I got a lot of people to pray in tongues. But anyway, we're talking about the coming end of Christian America in the words of Bonnie Christian. And I say, the end is not near. The end is already here. And the writer starts out talking on this in this article that says, and she says, America is still a Christian nation if the term simply means that a majority of people will still claim the label when a pollster calls or asks them. With that, I have to agree. But one thing we have to make sure, no, I didn't take up serpents. One thing we have to make sure of is that we realize that America was not founded as a Christian nation. And if I have anything to do with it, America will never be a Christian nation. The founding fathers of this nation, listen to me, the founding fathers of this nation were not Christians. I don't care what they tell you. I don't care what they sell you. The founding fathers of this nation, why aren't there founding mothers, by the way? But anyway, the founders were not Christian. They were deists predominantly and Freemasons predominantly. They were Freemasons predominantly. And if you know anything about Freemasonry, I'm a pagan and proud to be a pagan. Pagan just means someone that is not a member of the dominant religion of the area or possibly also a country dweller. So America, ladies and gentlemen, was founded by deist Freemasons for the most part. And if you know anything about Freemasons, there are lots of different religions that are Freemasons. You have Muslim Freemasons. You have, I would challenge you to provide me documentation, Sherry Kelly, of where George Washington proclaimed himself to be God. I'd have to see that. I would challenge that for you at this time. Thank you for sharing. It's an interesting thought, but I challenge you on that statement. The Freemasons have people from all religions, and it is my belief that the Freemasons made sure that there would not be any establishment of religion in the United States or the interference with the free exercise thereof, because they wanted to make sure that all of their brothers would be able to practice their religion and be comfortable within Freemasonry. Now, as a very nice add-on, it also created a land of religious freedom for everybody, be they Freemason or not be Freemason. So in that sense, and I'm going to say this, and somebody's going to clip it and make a video of me saying what I didn't say. In that sense, we do owe the Freemasons a thank you for their strong presence within the founding fathers of America. Because if it had been Christians that had come across the ocean, and if it had been Christians that had created this nation, it would not have been created as a nation where anyone can worship according to the dictates of their own conscience. It would have been just like the Osteens and the Falwells and the other names I won't name because I don't want to give them any publicity. They would make it a Christian nation. They would have established this as a Christian nation. That's what they want to do anyway. But this nation was never, ever formed as a Christian nation. It was never meant to be a Christian nation. And if I have anything to do with it, it never will be a Christian nation. America is a land of religious freedom. America is a land of religious liberty. And if it started in order to maintain religious liberty and freedom among Freemasons, I don't even care. Great. Good for you. All I know is that it works for me. I'm pragmatic that way. If something works and it doesn't harm or hurt and it helps, then I'll use it. Pragmatism. I don't have to understand everything, how everything works to the nth degree to be able to use it. That's why when somebody asks me, well, how does Fluffy work? I don't know how it works. I just know it does. And if you want to find out about Fluffy, go to jeffreydaugherty.com. Click on the FLFE logo, the Focus Life Force Energy logo. They will give you a 15-day trial. You don't even have to put in a credit card. For 15 days on your cell phone, 15 days on your home, and you can experience 30 days of a high-frequency, nurturing environment beamed right to where you are. Think better, feel better, sleep better, have sex better, digest your food better, get more downloads, get more revelations. Did I mention have sex better? It helps you in all of these areas. And it's free for a month. Better than Viagra, ladies and gentlemen. The people at Fluffy are saying, oh, no, what is he doing? But I think it's true anyway. But try it. It's free. You don't have to put in a credit card. And it makes a huge difference in your life. But this is not a Christian nation. It's a nation of religious freedom. And the people today that want to get you afraid of Noahide laws. The people today that want to get you afraid of Sharia law. That's a false flag. That's a diversion. Let me explain to you why. Not because I don't like the people that say it, and some of them I don't like because they're agent provocateurs and just shitty people, but that's beside the point. They're trying to get you scared about something like Noahide laws, which doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell of ever becoming the law of the land. Do you understand that the First Amendment is called the Establishment Clause? There shall be no establishment of religion, nor the restriction of the freedom of expression thereof. It would take a changing of the U.S. Constitution in order to get Noahide laws into the United States. There's not enough Jews to do that. If every single Jew somehow was able to influence, if every Jew voted 100% for it, and they wouldn't, you couldn't get a majority of states' legislatures to call a constitutional Congress. Period. Same thing with Sharia law. There's not enough Muslims in the United States to do it. But, and listen to this, I'm about to unlock a big key for you, and please try to keep folks on subject in the chat room if you can. I know it's a busy time, and we're so glad that there's a lot of people chiming in, but we're here to talk about something, folks, and don't be a distraction, please. If you get people scared about Noahide laws, who would be scared about Noahide laws? Christians would be scared about Noahide laws. Who would be scared about Sharia law? Christians would be scared about Sharia law. And if you got enough Christians scared, enough Christians worried, enough Christians fired up, you could get them scared enough and worried enough to say, you know what? The only way to make sure there's no Noahide laws is to make this a Christian nation. That there's enough Christians in this country to do. Even now, with it way down, still 65% of Americans claim to be Christian. 65%. You don't have to be very good at math. I'm a Bible college graduate, not a math major, but you don't have to be very good at math. Even you that are Christians can get this. Even you that are Christians but won't admit you are can get this. 65% wins an election. Hands down. 65% is a landslide in an election. If you got 65%, you win every time in an election in the United States of America. So if they can get enough of you mush-brained, robotic, do what you're told Christians, did I just offend you? I hope so, because maybe it'll make you get mad and show me I'm wrong and actually start doing some studying. And then you'll know that I'm right. But if they could get all of the Christians fired up about Noahide laws, if they could get all of the Christians fired up about Sharia law, then they could get them to influence enough of their state legislatures to be able to demand a constitutional convention, and they could change the United States Constitution to make this a Christian nation. That is their wet dream. And yes, I said it, wet dream, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to say thank you to all of the trolls that are invading the chat room today, because that lets me know that I am over the target. I was a C-130 crew chief, and I know that when you're taking flack, that means you're over the target. And we are dead center right now, folks. We got all of the Christian trolls coming in. Thank you so much. My trolls, I appreciate you. Thank you for the confirmation that I'm doing a good job and that I'm right where I need to be. Noahide law, Sharia law, it's diversion, it's false flag. It is trying to get you all wrapped up and worried. And did you notice my new clear Swanwick glasses? But anyway, that's what it's for. But if they can get enough of them, they want to make this a Christian nation. That's what they want to do. And the reason why it's such a big deal now, why are so many of their talking heads, why are so many of their what did I say their name was? Fake views, pay to play, preachers, preacherettes, those that say they're not Christians but are. Why are so many of them talking Noahide laws? Who do you hear talking Noahide laws? Christians. And those that are but won't say they are. Who do you hear talking Sharia? Christians. Why? Because they know that the end is here. They know that they're just about finished. And the only way that they can win and stay relevant and keep their fear and guilt control matrix in place is for something crazy, radical, unforeseen to happen, like a constitutional convention to pass a law to make this a Christian nation. I don't want to live in a nation. I don't want to live in a nation that says that you can't be anything but Christian. I don't want to be here, if that's the truth. I don't want to live in a Christian nation. I don't want to live in a Muslim nation. I don't want to live in a Jewish nation. I want to live in a free nation. One nation under all the gods, with people that truly are indivisible. We don't care about who you worship. Just let me worship who I worship. We don't care about what color your skin is. Just let me and be good. You take care of what's in your skin. I'll take care of what's in my skin. Indivisible with liberty and justice for all. That's what we want. I don't care if it was the Freemasons that started it. Thank you, Freemasons, for doing it. I've been enjoying it, and my forebears have been enjoying it ever since we sailed over from Ireland. It's not a Christian nation. It never was. And we have to do everything we can to make sure that it never will be a Christian nation. They used to say America is great as long as America is Christian. Bullshit. The day America becomes Christian is the day that America is over. And some of the worst times and the most regrettable times in this nation were those when the right was fully empowered. Think of Daddy Bush. Think of W. Think of Reagan. Those were not some great times, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we all got rich and increased with goods, but we had nothing on the inside of us. We were empty. We were bankrupt. We were bereft. But things are a-changing, ladies and gentlemen. Things are a-changing. The end is here. That's why you have so much yelling and so much screaming about Noahide laws. Because they want you to think there's Noah to hide, and we got to change the Constitution because the tiny percent of Jews, I don't even think Jews are 5% in the United States, that they're somehow going to take over the entire country, and we're all going to be speaking Yiddish and wearing yarmulkes. That's bullshit. That's fear porn. That's stupid. Don't buy it. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the artist also known as a Christian whistleblower. This is Unindoctrinate. And cousins, we are just getting started. We'll be right back to talk more about the end is here. Christian America is dying. Don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back. All right, folks, let's take a little look into the chat room as we take a break from the radio side. I knew you'd say those words. Let's see. Claudette is Irish. Thank you. Perfect. Internet before Y2K, early 90s. Okay. We are strong beings in the power they fear. Exactly, Spirit. Let's see. Hey, Jeff, we're a money nation. The money God rules this country. Is that okay? I don't know if I agree with that. Because there's a lot of people that start out with no money, and all of a sudden, they got a lot of money. So I still think America is a land of opportunity. But like Halo says, and he'll be on with me tomorrow, if you're still believing in the American dream, that means you're still asleep. Time to get out of the American dream and have an individual goal, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Long live the Republic, says Monkey Experiment. I agree 100%. We are sovereign beings, says Terry Snow. Yes, they are clear blue blocker glasses. You can kind of see. If you wait a couple hours, I'll have a code up on the website where you can go click on the Swanwick logo and get a discount. Let's see. We don't need any more of any religion, says Claudette. I agree 100%. KC says, will there be a one world religion? Will it be Christian? It depends on how successful I am and how successful we are at doing what we're doing. If we're successful, there won't be a one world religion, and it certainly won't be Christian. If we're not successful and they do perpetrate their end time false flag, there will be one religion, and it will be an amalgamation. It'll be Abrahamic religion. It'll be Christianity, Islam, Judaism, all ruled together, probably by an alien Jesus that shows up on the Temple Mount where they've just built a new temple and a Christian shrine to go along with the Mosque of Omar. But I think we can stop that from happening. That's their wet dream. That's what they think about at night when they touch themselves if they haven't been touching kids. Let's see. Do you believe in God? Viola Knight, you might want to watch more than 25 minutes of a show before you start asking questions that are kind of silly. Of course, I believe in a God. I believe in the divine. That is a question, and there is an answer. Let's see what else we got. They also want to take out the second. Well, the second is just in case you decide to take away my first, because I don't know who your God is. Well, I do know who your Christian God is, and I guarantee you this, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to come after my First Amendment, your God ain't got what it takes to stop my Second Amendment rights. I guarantee that. If you think you're going to come and take my First Amendment, or you think you're going to come and take my Second Amendment because of your God, I hope your God can catch lead moving at many hundreds of miles an hour, because that's what it's going to take to stop me. Lock and load. We are a Christian nation. We are a nation that believes in freedom of religion and the right to keep and bear arms. And gun control is knowing how to hit what you shoot at. And I train every week. So that's all I've got to say about that, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get back into, they're not following laws now, and Sharia is not for people that don't want to be. And don't put all caps in my chat room anyway. No one that doesn't want to be under Sharia law is under Sharia law anywhere in the United States, period. Or Noahide law. Let's see. 5 days in and my husband's complaining less. She's talking about Fluffy. How about that? Boom. Of course I'm correct, but thank you for saying it, Throck. I believe all religions have been infiltrated by the Masons. There's probably traces of the Masons in all religions. I would say so. All right. So the hypocrisy of these sickos harming children, then telling me and you that we're going to hell for what we're trying to be the kindest people. Yeah, I get you, Throck. All right, let's jump back into our subject and jump back into the radio extravaganza, which just means I got to put on my timer. You ready? You ready? Okay. Ready or not, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, though, if you're a child of all ages, I don't know what you're doing awake at this time of night. Does your mother know that you're listening to Unindoctrinate Under the Covers with her iPhone? Turn the light off, bro, so she doesn't catch you. We want you to be able to hear this stuff. She'll come take it away. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. It is the second half of Unindoctrinate. We're also recording this over on it's actually being presented live on the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is The Christian Whistleblower. I know you like listening live as you go into your midnight hour. And if you want, you can also take a look on the website and see the video and see everything that we present over there, be a part of the chat room. So come on out, ladies and gentlemen. Jameis said she heard it did. You might like the Freemasons, but you'd thank them every day if you knew the work they do for Americans every day. I can live with that. I can agree with that. I'm not a Freemason. Don't want to be a Freemason. There's reasons why I don't want to be and can't be in my mind. But there are good Freemasons that do good work for Americans every day. I'd agree with that. It is election day in Canada. I know nothing about what's going on. So there you go. All right. So America Now, ladies and gentlemen, it used to be as recent as 2007 when polled, 78% of people said that they were Christians. 78% in 2007. With my Bible college math, that's about 11 years ago, right? Now, folks, the most recent polling says barely 65% of Americans identify as Christians. And I say, thank the gods. We're down 11 percentage points what is it? Now I can't add. We're down 13 percentage points in 11 years. That's great. I'm so glad that people are declining to be Christians. They're not being Christians anymore. I'm excited they're not being Christians anymore. Well, Jeff, you just want everybody to be an atheist. Well, that shows how stupid you are. Because the fact is that most people that leave Christianity are not going to atheism. They're going to religiously unaffiliated. That means that's a euphemism for unindoctrinated. Most people, I believe, that are leaving the church not because they're sick of God, because they're sick of church, and they're actually finding an expression of the divine outside the fear and guilt control matrix of Christianity. This is really, really good news, ladies and gentlemen. 65% of Americans now say they're Christians, down from 78% as recent as 2007. And listen to this. The deconverted are mostly moving away from religion altogether. Beautiful. Because if you're religious, you can't be spiritual. And if you're spiritual, you can't be religious. To the degree that you're religious, the more religious you are, the less spiritual you will be. The more spiritual you are, the less religious you will be. Think about that. The nones, the people that identify as having no religious affiliation, have gone from 16% to 26% since 2007. Wait for this good news, ladies and gentlemen. If this rate of change continues, the United States will be majority non-Christian by about 2035, with the nones representing well over 1/3 of the population. I know that's 33%. Yeshua is not king unless he goes to Burger King. Then he can get a paper crown. But Yeshua is not king. Yeshua is not real. He's not even chicken a la king. He's not even chicken of the sea. Yeshua is fake, phony, busted, broke, disgusted, disclosed, and disposed. Jesus saves only if he clips coupons, ladies and gentlemen. That's such good news. Christians are going the way of the dodo. And do you realize that by 2035, if things continue, the U.S. will be majority non-Christian? Praise the Lords. I cannot wait for that day. And I'd like to think that I've had something to do with a little bit of this, because I started this stuff after 2007. And I like to believe that I and we will have more to do with this as we continue to grow. Because when we had 1,000, 2,000, it was easy to ignore us. Now we got about 40,000, and it's still kind of easy to ignore us. But wait for 6 months, a year, when we got 100,000, 150,000. Wait for a little while when we got 400,000 or 500,000 subscribers. Then it's not so easy to ignore us anymore. And the more people that are leaving the churches, the more people have their ears open. You know, Casey says freedom for Christians. Now, I know it's not like me, but I'm going to say something that might be considered radical. Part of me says Christians don't deserve freedom because they never gave any of the rest of us freedom. Why should we give Christians freedom when they say if we're not one of them, we're going to burn in hell? Part of me says lock every one of them bitches up. Put them in Christian camps and let them worship their baby Jesus together in a fence where they can't offend or hurt anybody else. But that's not America, so I won't say that. But excuse me, if I don't take up your cause of freedom for Christians, they don't want to give anybody else freedom. How do you like a little bit of your own medicine? How's that taste, Christian? Can you smell what you've been cooking for everybody else since you got control of everything? Oh, now Christians want religious freedom. Didn't want it when they were in control of everything. They wanted to take charge and rule and kick everybody's ass. Now, all of a sudden, when they're not in charge anymore, they're all for religious freedom. How's it feel, bitches? How's it feel now? Freedom for Christians. You didn't give us freedom. But see, this is why we're better than you. This is the difference between being Christian and being spiritual. Because even though we're mad as hell at you, even though we're pissed at you, even though you want help from us, protection from us, but you still think we're going to burn in hell because we don't like your greasy little g God, we will fight to preserve your freedom to be Christian. We will stand shoulder to shoulder to protect you from those that would take your right to worship in your hateful little religion. Because we're not like you. Because we're better than you. Because we're not focused on the hate and the exclusion and the we're better than everybody else like you guys are focused on. It's a good thing that we don't treat you like you treated us. It's a good thing that we're trying to get better and aren't bitter at what you've been doing to us for 2,000 years. It's a good thing for you that we're better people than you are. It's a good thing for you that we got out from underneath your fear and guilt and control matrix. It's a good thing for you we're not carrying our crosses anymore. It's a good thing for you that we kicked Jesus and the Father out of our hearts. It's a good thing for you that we don't follow your BIBLE alphabet agency anymore. It's a good thing for you that you're living in a land filled with more and more of us, because if it had been some other people, it wouldn't have ended nearly as well for you. You should be thanking us. And you ought to stop and think for a minute. Wow, we were killing these people, putting these people under fear and guilt control matrix, telling them they're going to hell because they don't believe our God. It was great when we were in control. Now we're not in control and they're not coming for us. We're not coming for you. We are not coming for you. No, we will protect you, just like the Muslims, just like the Jews, just like anybody else of any other religious faith in America. We will fight to protect your rights, even though you would steal ours. That's called loving your neighbor as you love yourself. That's called love, peace that passes understanding. We don't understand why you're so mean. We don't understand why you're so hateful. We don't understand how you can be so stupid. But we're still going to live in peace that passes understanding. And we're going to build a land and a people of life and life more abundantly. So don't bring me your freedom for Christians, even though I'll fight to protect it. But I'm still growing because I don't like it. I don't like it. Maybe I need a little stem light, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I need a little stem light right now. Because if you've got debilitative injuries, if you've got sicknesses, if you've got illnesses, if you're being taken by the ravages of aging, go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the stem light logo, our stem cell partners. Don't talk to me about abortions. Don't talk to me about any of that. It's donated umbilical cord stem cells. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Stay sick. Stay self-righteous and stay sick if that's the way you feel. But for those of you that aren't stupid and do want something miraculous in your life, go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the stem light logo. They'll give you 20% off if you use the word heal. If you're a doctor, You don't have to work with me, but you can work with the great people at StemLight. Use the word heal and go to southernstem.com. And if you can't afford stem cell treatment right now, it's not cheap. I'm not telling you a lie. It is not cheap. It's great. It's not cheap. It's just like we went and bought a new truck. We did not buy the fully loaded Denali. We bought a Silverado. Why? The other one was too expensive. But if you want, you can also click on the Create Yourself Nutrition logo. And there you'll find that there is supplements fortified to multiply and activate your own adult stem cells. Your stem cells do have the ability to repair. So if you can't afford the StemLight stem cell therapy, click on the Create Yourself. And if you're just saving up, use that in the meantime. It will help you along the way. I didn't mean to get off on that rant, but that was a really good one. And it was a really true one. And it was a really powerful one, ladies and gentlemen. And today I did get in the mail, and I'm so glad because I'm getting a little sweaty here. It's a little hot, and I'm getting a little hot and bothered, but I know I can go into the shower. I can grab my Hero soap, and I can lather up. I can feel good. I can smell manly. I can smell very, very sophisticated, and I can let freedom clean. Hero soap, jeffreydaugherty.com. Click on the American flag logo. And there's also more striking details from this study, ladies and gentlemen. Protestantism has lost its claim to an outright majority of Americans since 2012. Isn't that amazing? Protestantism is no longer the dominant religious belief within the United States of America. I'm so happy. It's a 50-50 split of Christians versus nuns with millennials. That's why we're trying to reach more young people. We've got Jake coming on in a couple weeks. He's 20, 21 or so. I know we got people in the chat room that are young. We're trying to reach out to the young people. I just started an Instagram, Daugherty_Jeffrey, I think it is. We're trying to be relevant. Young people, we do hear you. Young people, we do care. Young people, we do want to hear from you. If you're a young person, you're 25 and under, I want to hear from you if you've got something to say about being divine, being sovereign, and being free. And if you're an old person, I want to hear about it. If you're in the middle, I want to hear about it. But we do want to say to the young people, we've not forgotten about you. And we're so very, very happy that 50-50 now from nuns to Christian. And we're working on changing that and moving those numbers as well. Religious service attendance rates have dramatically declined in the last decade, and they will continue to decline if trends hold. I'm so happy, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Jeff, it's so terrible. You're trying to destroy the church, and the Muslims are going to take over. First of all, that's an incredible leap of logic. Second of all, it's not true. It is not a logical progression. Just because people stop being Christian does not mean they're going to start being Muslim. And if you are worried about too many people becoming Muslims, why don't you stop worrying about not making people Christians and start maybe being nicer to Muslims? I don't care what people's religions are. This is not a Christian nation. And I don't care if America is not a majority Christian. I don't care if America is not a majority Christian. As long as it's a majority of good people that love this land, that love their family, that believe in doing right, that believe in being fair and kind to their neighbors. And the vast majority of Muslims I've ever met believe those things. The vast majority of Jews I've ever met believe those things. I'd have to think about it to say if the vast majority of Christians I've ever met believe those things. I'd have to think about it. Probably yes, but I'd have to think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, America is quickly becoming, not only it never was a Christian nation in reality, and is quickly becoming a nation where a minority of people identify as being Christian. And if you want to learn about other faiths, if you want to learn about other things, you're a Christian and you see this happening and you're worried or you don't really understand too much, you can go to jeffreydaugherty.com and click on the Gaia logo. It's like the Netflix of enlightenment. You can go there and there's all kinds of programs about all different kinds of religions and beliefs. And it'll help you know that you don't have to be afraid of people that aren't Christians. Most of them are nice people, kind people, good people. And some of them have stuff that's even cooler than Christianity. And most of them don't lock you into a fear and guilt control matrix. So if you want a 2-week trial to Gaia, go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Gaia logo, and you'll be able to take advantage of it there. So with America becoming a non-Christian nation, never was a Christian nation, but with a majority of Americans becoming non-Christian, then America's becoming Christian. What does this mean for our nation? For the Christians, as soon as you stop screaming and yelling and crying and cursing and worrying and being afraid, then we can talk some sense into you. For Christians, for what remains of the American church, there's going to be a couple different ways that people will react to this. Some are going to go all apocalypse. Like most of these, I try not to say mean things about people. I know that you don't believe it, but some people do deserve to be called out. But these people that are preaching the gloom and doom, America's falling, the dollar's falling, the sky is falling, tribulation's coming, Antichrist chopping heads, mark of the beast. That's a reaction to the fact that they're losing power. They're losing control. None of that stuff is real. Nobody believed any of it until the 16th century when the Jesuits invented it. And the Jesuits are Catholics, and they don't want to see the Catholic Church lose its control over the United States of America. So they're trying to scare you into believing that everything is falling apart and trying to motivate you to do stupid things because everything's falling apart. I am not so sure that they won't try to take terrorist actions to prevent the decline of Christianity in this country. I hope I'm wrong, but we need to keep our eyes on these people. We need to keep our ears on these people. They've been in charge for 2,000 years. Now they're not in charge anymore. Some of them will get mad, and some of them, like this other one, will get scared. The scared ones, we'll take care of them. Don't worry, we're not going to let people beat them up. We're not going to let people make fun of them. We're not going to let people spit on them and stuff. We will protect them just like we protect anybody else of any other faith. But these ones that want to blow up mosques and blow up synagogues and maybe try to blow up the temple in Jerusalem, these people, or blow up the Mosque of Omar, these people that want to try to push things to happen so that their Armageddon takes place. These people that want to try to energetically fuel the coming of a tribulation, want to try to energetically fuel the false flag of a Jesus return. You got to understand something, folks. Thoughts are things. And if enough of these people manifest, they might be able to manifest a false Jesus tulpa appearance. That's why you've got to stop listening to them. You've got to stop hanging out with them. You've got to stop giving energy to them. And we might need to go on a spiritual, energetic offensive against that ism. I need to ponder that. Can we energetically, let's think about this together, ladies and gentlemen. This is a radical idea. Can we, as spiritual beings, spiritual people that want the good for everyone, can we launch, I'm writing as I speak, can we launch energetic, I'm going to put warfare, that's not really the word I mean. but they talk about spiritual warfare. Can we launch energetic warfare to disrupt Christian energy? Can we launch energetic warfare to disrupt Christian energy? Why couldn't we? Why couldn't we? Why can't we launch? Now, Tracy says intention. I know we can launch positive intention, and that's great. But can we specifically, Joe Sapien says, can we jam the creepy Christ frequency? Can we jam the Jeebus juice? Can we employ, I like that one, somebody stuck 420 psycho. I love that. Can we employ countermeasures? That's the way to put it. Employ countermeasures. Can we employ countermeasures to disrupt Christian energy? Can we launch tactical tulpe? I don't know about creating tulpe though, because they can get out of hand. But that's a great idea, Michelle Cannonfree. I like the way you're thinking. Folks, we have just gone where no one has gone before. Energetic jamming, countermeasures. We're not doing fear. We're not talking about fear, Scott Shutt. Can we launch anti-fear energy into the collective mind? Can we try? We can try. It's all about what you believe. Cynthia says, I think so. Why not? Can a virus be good? Yeah, let's inject a positive virus into the matrix. Boom. There's another one. Positive virus into the matrix. And if it's a fear and guilt control matrix, anything that breaks it down and destroys it is a positive matrix. Terry Snows, you can't interfere with others' free will. We're not talking about interfering with others' free will. We're talking about interfering with them interfering with others' free will. We're talking about breaking up, dispersing Abrahamic intentions. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Casey says, how about a group meditation on your channel? We will have to begin to think about this stuff. It's just like Pam King says, injecting perfected spiritual stem cells into the matrix. This is a very high-minded group, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very high-minded group. Take care of the ones that are afraid. Take on the ones that are going to become increasingly militant towards their demise. Ooh. And I think on the Christian right, this article's talking about the Christian right. I think President Trump is going to take care of the Christian right. They now need Donald Trump more than Donald Trump needs them. And in about by January, or when is it? November is the election, right? November 15th, by November 4th of 2020, he won't need them anymore either. So I think that's going to take care of itself. So what do we say to the Christians that are losing ground? What do we say to these Christians that are losing ground? I say to them, don't worry about reprisals from truly spiritual people. And don't come knocking on our door thinking that you are going to push us around, because you will receive a reaction that you're not expecting. Still other Christians, this article writes, and I count myself among them, will land somewhere in between these two views. Yet all across the spectrum of responses, I suspect, we'll see an increasing concern for religious liberties. I hope so, as an ever smaller portion of the broader public has a personal stake in its preservation as a special right distinct from freedoms of speech, association, and so on. In other words, The Christians who've been kicking ass and taking names and screwing us all for 2,000 years are now worried that they're going to get their ass kicked, their name taken, and they're going to get screwed. They're worried that they're going to get done to them what they've been doing to everybody else. We won't let that happen. We will not let that happen. We will not let that happen. Those that are religiously unaffiliated, we will protect Christians just like we protect anybody else of faith. And we will not stand by and let them attack us just like we wouldn't stand by and let anyone else attack us. So, ladies and gentlemen, as the nuns rise, I think it'll be a good thing. I think it'll be a powerful thing. And I think it'll make for a better nation. It'll make for a better people. You know, FDR promised to put a new suit on every man in America. I think it's time that we put a new man in every suit in America. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is Unindoctrinate. Go over to the Christian Whistleblower on YouTube, subscribe there, and we will see you again real soon. Good night, everyone. All right, so we're finished with radio. I saw something up here about MAGA. A whole lot of Q and MAGA followers are hardcore Christians, says Spirit Girl SF. Yes and no. A lot of Christians, hardcore Christians, and a lot of Q people are MAGA followers, but I don't know that a majority of MAGA followers are hardcore Christians. I'm not sure that it's true, but that's why Trump is saying some of the things he does. I mean, he's a politician. He's pragmatic. He knows he needs probably still needs now the religious right in order to get elected again in 2020. But he's also a smart man, and he knows that after 2020, he won't need the religious right anymore. So he will start treating them like he treats everybody else. No more special this, no more Paula White in the White House, no more of the baby pat him on the head stuff. That'll be gone. They'll be treated like everybody else. So I think the MAGA Q Christians will take care of themselves. That's just my feeling. I could be wrong, but that's just my feeling. And there is a difference between those following the divine and the Jesus juice ones. Absolutely. The heck with that. We don't care about the Jesus juice ones. Let's see. What else we got? Nuns, N-O-N-Es, not nuns, N-U-N-S, right. So that's an idea, folks. Can we employ countermeasures to disrupt Christian energetic projections? Let's think about that. Let's ponder that. And let's see if we can't come up with something like that. I stopped short of tactical toll pay because I'd hate to create toll pay and let them go. I'd hate to. And see, this is, I think, a nice person. It just shows the fear and guilt control matrix mindset. The Nayaka says, but Jeff, and I think she's serious and honest. She says, if we're not based on a Christian God of love, then what God is America trusting in? See, they've got this idea in their heads, and they really believe it, that it's their God or nothing, that there's no other God but their God. They really believe it. And they think that if they leave their God, or if America leaves their God, that it's all over. Honey, brother, you got to understand, you've been lied to. You've been cheated on. It's like a country song. There's way more gods than yours. And guess what? You don't even need one. You don't even need one, ladies and gentlemen, to get your stuff done, because you're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. Take a deep breath, Nayakas. It'll be fine. America's never been trusting in a Christian God. It's never been a Christian nation. And it'll be fine when there's more of us than there are of you. And maybe you'll see that there's more out there than your little G-O-D. I'm just saying. All right. I think we're going to close it up. I just want to check out here. See if there's anything else that jumps out to me. I hope Jeff sings. No, not today. Let's see. You're saying what I feel. Well, thank you. You're feeling what I say. No, stem cells is not artificial cells. They are cells, at least with stem light, they're cells that come from donated umbilical cords. There you go. Tracy says, we will protect you, but don't expect us to coddle you in your stupid state. Well said, Tracy. Well said. Terry Brown says that religion has made Jeffrey D. look like a saint, in her opinion. Well, thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. I came in pissed off because I read that Jesus did not die on the cross in the Gospel of Barnabas. Yeah, the secret's out. He didn't. Audrey says, I've made her snort laugh 4 times now. I'll try to get better. I know that's a little light on the snort laugh scale. KTM says, Jeff, tell us how you really feel. I got a little hot there for a minute, but that's okay. That's okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the taping of Unindoctrinate. That is, the end is here. Christian America is dying, and I couldn't be happier. Maybe I shouldn't be happy, but I'm very, very happy. Things are not bad. They're not getting worse. Things are good, and they're getting gooder. All right. Things are good, and they're getting better. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the last generation of real humans. Winners do write the history. And if we get busy, we can win today and write a better tomorrow. I believe we got Podcast Excellence coming up at 9 p.m. Central tonight. We've got good. Block this channel, fish bait. Don't care. Block it. Block me right now. Come on, block it. I dare you. Block it. Block it. Block it now. But you won't because you got to come back to hear more. You're hooked, fish. Boom. 9 o'clock. Cheryl Costa talking about UFOs and aliens and extraterrestrials on The Last Stand. You're hooked, fish. You're not going anywhere. Jeffrey Daugherty, Christian Whistleblower. Namaste on your ass.